Hi, I'm Pam, and I'm here to talk about video games. Today I'm talking about a new game from a brand new studio that aims to tell a story about grief through the medium of a Metroidvania. And I have some thoughts on that. It's Tales of Kenzera ZAU. The first game by Surgent Studios, Tales of Kenzera ZAU is a 2D action platformer that was released in April 2024 for PC and current consoles. I played and recorded this footage on an Xbox Series X. The game tells the story of ZAU, a shaman whose father has recently died. ZAU makes a deal with the god of death to calm 3 great spirits in return for reviving his father. This starts a journey through a number of beautiful biomes where you'll face dangers from enemies and the environment while discovering new abilities that can aid you with both. You'll meet characters who are each dealing with their own losses, who will help ZAU to come to terms with his grief. Tales of Kenzera ZAU made a great first impression. I played the demo a while back and it looked beautiful and it felt great to play. The full game continues that with very solid base mechanics and a variety of interesting abilities introduced later on. ZAU has access to a number of abilities right from the start that usually need to be unlocked or found later in these kind of games. He can dash, on the ground and in the air, double jump, and wall jump right away. This makes you feel quite powerful right from the start, and movement is very fluid and engaging. ZAU has a lot of momentum, which can help propel you forward when you're nailing all your inputs. In combat, you have a light and heavy attack, and frequently daze enemies. You can also kick them away and into thorns or off cliffs, which is very satisfying. The unique thing here is the mask system. ZAU has a sun mask, which focuses on melee attacks, and a moon mask, which lets you fire projectiles, and you can quickly swap between them. Certain enemies have color-coded shields to let you know which mask you need to wear in order to destroy them. These shields do regenerate, which can make combat feel drawn out at times. However, in general, combat feels crunchy and impactful, and the ultimate attacks you get with each mask are very satisfying, in both their visual effects and the way they melt enemies. There's not a ton of enemy variety, but combat rarely gets stale because of the variety of new abilities that you get that you can use in combat. Boss fights are a standout. They are visually impressive, narratively significant, and have interesting patterns. They feel threatening and make the most of the environment. Platforming and combat mix very well during these fights. I do wish there are more of them. There are only 4, 1 in each act. Tales of Kenzera defines itself as a Metroidvania, but I think that gives the wrong idea. I enjoy the ability progression, most of the combat, and the platforming, but when it comes to exploration, there's a lot to be desired. I had a better time with the game when I threw the idea of it being a Metroidvania in the bin and just considered it a narrative-heavy action platformer. The game is very linear. There was never a time where I didn't know where to go next. There's some looping around, but not much. The map reveals the entire area to you when you get to it, so there's no sense of exploring for yourself. There's also no way to mark the map with areas you want to check out later, not that there are many of those. I never felt compelled to backtrack. There are some side areas which contain platforming challenges that take you to some kind of collectible or power-up. I did really like these sections. They could be quite challenging, but I didn't love the rewards. Lore items were well written, but needed to be listened to in menu, which just seems like an outdated method of giving the player information. Breakable items give extra XP, which could be used to buy talent points in either the sun or moon mask tree. The talent trees weren't that interesting, and even without doing much extra exploring, I was able to purchase most of them by the end of the game. There are also charms you can find which give you some enhancement to a skill, but again, I didn't find them all that necessary. There just wasn't much of a sense of exploration here, and the few times I could go off the path, I didn't feel all that rewarded. However, the new abilities you get as you progress are quite cool and fun to use. These can be used in both platforming and combat and are based on which mask you're wearing. You get the ability to freeze flowing water, allowing you to jump off waterfalls or freeze your enemies. A fire spear lets you activate switches which can open doors or hurt enemies. You'll also be able to construct or destroy platforms. Some of the best platforming segments require you to quickly swap between masks so you can alternate between these abilities. Standout moments of the game were escape sequences or platforming challenges that required you to use all of your movement abilities and be able to know which to use and switch between them quickly. Just like the boss fights, I wish these happened more often. There are a lot of obstacles, like thorns or fire to avoid when you explore. Deaths are instant, but also are not punished at all. Respawns are quick, the game is auto-saving all the time, and you lose nothing besides a bit of time when you die. There's a lot of focus on story here, and it's quite emotional and very well done. The presentation of the game is excellent. There's a lot of dialogue in the game, and it's all wonderfully voice acted and can be quite touching at times. We see how the loss of his father has made ZAU angry, stubborn, questioning, and go through his journey of grief. There's not a big cast of characters, but they all add to the story. I'm usually not one for too much story in my action games, but I do like how this was done. The majority of the dialogue happens between ZAU and the God of Death as you're playing, which I always prefer to stopping the game for cutscenes. There are some of those as well though. There is an option to auto-forward dialogue during these scenes, which I love to see. You'll also find a ton of other accessibility options in the game, including for difficulty. I played through on normal. The game's soundtrack is incredible, a mix of African traditional music, synths, and electronics. It's one I would listen to in or outside of the game. The sound design is also great, with combat sounding impactful and the environment sounding alive. Tales of Kenzera is also clearly a gorgeous game. It's bright and beautiful, with environments that stand apart from each other and feature a lot of depth and movement. ZAU's animations are dazzling, with fun, flashy movements as he jumps and dashes. The visuals of them even change based on which mask you're wearing. The game ran very well for me in performance mode, though I did notice a bit of slowdown on quality mode. Occasionally, I also found the camera lagged behind a bit, or wasn't exactly where I wanted it, but it was never bad enough to hinder my movement. It took me around 9 or 10 hours to complete the game. I had fun with Tales of Kenzera ZAU, though I was disappointed with the lack of exploration. If I look at it as a 2D action game, it has fun platforming, an interesting combat system, and some really cool abilities. Presentation-wise, everything looks and sounds great, and the story is quite touching at times. This is a solid first outing by Sargent Studios, and I look forward to what they do next. If you want to see more, go check out one of my Metroidvania reviews, or another of my videos. I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.